The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up tonight, Bahamian students hoping to travel to the United States for university this fall, breathing a sigh of relief after the U.S. lifts a student visa ban. We have one young man's response. Prime Minister Davis standing on business tonight. He's fired a senior official in the Ministry of Works for what's been termed blocking progress. Tonight, did the Prime Minister go too far, or is this the kind of action the public service needs to better and more efficiently serve the Bahamian people? We talk about it. The Free National Movement preparing to launch its first group of candidates tomorrow evening. But get this, Long Island, an F&M stronghold, seems to be rethinking its position on the PLP. It's all straight ahead tonight. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. The United States has implemented a new requirement for students and exchange visa applicants. Effective immediately, individuals applying for F, M, or J non-immigrant visas must make their social media accounts public as part of the application process. Applicants are now required to list all social media platforms that they use and they have used over the past 5 years, including usernames or handles. Passwords will not be required, though. But U.S. officials warn that failure to provide accurate or complete information could impact your visa approval. The United States State Department says this move is aimed at strengthening national security. U.S. officials say social media, has become a critical tool in vetting the applicants, and publicly available online activity will now be reviewed as part of each visa determination. This issue has had many Bahamian students and their parents on edge, as you can imagine. Well, tonight we hear firsthand how the lifting of the ban is impacting soon-to-be and those already enrolled students needing to renew their visas just in time for the fall semester. Joining me this evening is Headlines Jun. Aaron, good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining me here on Beyond the Headlines. Aaron, you, like thousands of other Bahamians, were quite nervous for a while. Describe your feelings on hearing that this student visa ban has been lifted.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas. It was definitely a big concern. I was definitely worried when I heard the news that President Trump had, banned the application process. You could not apply. You could not carry out the process to receive visas. Not only me, but many students, from school, students who had been to UB this year and last year. Now they plan to go off internationally this year. Their plans have been ruined. They were definitely truly afraid. I mean, this one brought a big shockwave through the Bahamas, through the youth communities, through the education systems, our teachers and administrators. It definitely was a big fail.
What were you thinking? What went through your thoughts? Because I know, we spoke about this before. So many parents and persons like you going to school for the first time and those needing renewal of visas were obviously thinking, well, what's next? Or where do I turn? What do I do now?
Right. In that moment, me specifically, I always think about the plan B. So although I planned to, further my education, further my studies in the USA, the minute I heard about this ban of visa issuing, I turned to Canada. I started to send applications out in Canada. In the UK as well, in London, I began to send out applications in London. And then, of course, I had to also send a second application to UB. just to ensure my overall security. And I told many students, many people I know, apply to UB, apply to schools in the UK, apply to schools in Canada, where you would not need to have, those rigorous visa processes.
Yes, now, of course, a new requirement, you heard me at the top just a moment ago, for the student visa or any type visa that I mentioned, in order for you to be approved, the U.S. State Department must have access to your social media account. What are your thoughts on that?
Right. Well, I tell young people so many times and so often, be careful what you post, mind what you post. And now they're throwing this curveball, where you would literally need to give them, a outlook of how you are, on the media. So of course, I read a post from the chambers that said they would not be asking for passwords. But like you said, they'll be asking for usernames within the last 5 years. So they're going to see what you were tagged in. They're going to see what you liked. They're going to see what you posted. And definitely it has a big effect. I'm just hoping that, our students were conservative, on social media. If you're like me, you only post certain things, you only allow certain things to be, shown to the outside world. And I just pray that many of our students also followed, that mindset.
I absolutely agree with you right there. It teaches all of us. I mean, whether you want to go to university, whether you're looking for the next job, locally or abroad, that this is now what employers and obviously an entire government and country, this is what they're doing. They are looking at your social media footprint. Let's talk about, do you feel safer though on the flip side of this? Because we heard that this is a part of their whole national security crackdown. Do you feel safer headed to the United States this fall, that they have added this level of scrutiny to those who would be granted visas?
Definitely, because what this allows is for proper screening to be done. Now, of course, me being on the other side of the table at first, I said, man, why are you doing this? He doesn't need to be doing this. Why are you doing all this nonsense? But now that it's working in our favor again, I got to be realistic and say that it does allow me to feel a bit more secure as it relates to security reasons, because through them doing this, through them checking social media, through them doing deeper screenings and deeper searches, they're able to kind of have a control and put a lid on top of what kind of students you'll be sleeping in dorms with, students you'll be living on campus with, students you'll be share classrooms with. Are these students potentially terrorists? Are these students related to terrorist affiliates? Are they related to certain, democratic groups and different stuff like that? So I believe now definitely that it does enhance security. It enhances our safety. And for Bahamians specifically, I do think that it'll be a better output after screening students and screening personnel to make sure that we're in the right environments with the right kind of people.
And keep Bahamians, and every student, but Bahamians in this instance, on the straight and narrow. You don't need to go there and get buck wild. Which state are you headed to?
I'm going to Lexington in Kentucky.
Ah, okay, awesome. Very proud of you, Aaron. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us here on Beyond the Headlines. I know that you have your interview coming up soon for your visa, and good luck with that. But I'm happy. I'm happy for you and many others that this ban has been lifted. Thank you for joining me this evening.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Absolutely. Thank you. You take care as well. Well, I'll tell you this. Of course, the Hot Topics panel has a whole lot of thoughts on this and a whole lot more, because we're going to really get into some stuff. But we're going to start right there this evening. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines, our BTH contributors, Peggy Candace and Garth Rosborough. Good evening to both of you, and welcome to the show.
Good evening. Thank you for having me, Shani.
Well, good evening. Good evening. I see everyone is looking beautifully blue.
I know, right? It's like, how did this happen? But listen, it looks good on camera, right? Your response to this, you heard Aaron right there, quite a sharp, very focused young man, headed off to university this fall, quite happy. He is just really the voice of thousands of students and their families, their parents, who are so happy and celebrate. But your thoughts about such a strict move, really, that the U.S. imposed just abruptly?
Good evening. Thank you for having me. Good evening, Bahamas. Congratulations to the young man. He sounds so mature and focused, which is needed. I think the enhanced security message is essential because the time also that America is facing, the immigration approach that Donald Trump took immediately after being sworn into office, and the fact that they bomb another country All of this is essential to protect who is entering in the United States of America. And if you were to be so blessed to pass the scrutiny, it will speak to your character that you pass social media. I know some people like to look at your email address, and it tells them who you are, who they're allowing in their country. And I think it is necessary because of the times we're in.
Yeah, America has had its challenges. I do recall one time I was visiting, and I recognized that some 6,000 people were crossing the border illegally in El Paso, Texas. And when you look at the whole fabric of the economy of North America, it is actually the foreign individuals that are now taking over the job market. But then this threat now comes in along with those people who are crossing these borders. They've had people all the way from Haiti, going to Mexico, coming into America, people coming from South America, coming into America. And then they've had people from across the globe with the use of the F1 visa, which is a student visa, coming into America and causing mischief. And so right now, America's exhausting every avenue possible in order to just go ahead and alleviate the concerns of any foreign disaster happening in terms of people entering the country. We here in the Bahamas, yes, we are a safe country, but of course we're also open waters as well. So for our students, this is good for them in that you're now going to a safer country. It's not totally safe, but it is safer. And I think the Bahamas can learn something from this, that we need to take our own immigration extremely seriously. America is doing it. The world is doing it. Bahamas, it's time for us to take immigration into control and go ahead and vet the people that come into our country.
Absolutely. I mean, every nation is now sort of doubling down on its own sovereignty. And the United States is no different. People say, oh, but this is the U.S. Everybody has a right to be. No, they have a right to guard their borders, safeguard their people, and even those who visit lawfully, legally, and abiding by rules. And so it's good. I'm happy again for students that they can now either continue their education or, like Aaron, go for the first time. That's really awesome. But listen, Peggy and Garth, speaking of breathing a sigh of relief, another thing that we all were watching on pins and needles recently and nervous about is the war, and boy, to hear the Democrats tell it, World War III was a minute away, but a ceasefire has now been declared between Israel and Iran. Of course, we know there's very, very strong measures President Trump took, but we're not here to discuss that. We're talking about the fact that what was really being threatened, an increase in fuel almost immediately, and we knew what that meant, just exacerbating already inflation and the cost of living.
Yes. Shanique, I am glad to hear this news. People were very concerned, and as they should be. And despite what is trying to be made of Donald Trump, he is focused. He has a plan. He's sticking to the plan. He makes demands, he sticks to his guns, and not only protect America, but we are also benefiting from those strong measures. People were talking, oh, price of this going up and the price of that, if the price of gas go up, and just panic. And so tonight I'm very grateful to hear of the ceasefire, and it brings a sense of relief with those concerns.
Well, I join you in those sentiments. Very well said. Thank you.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, you all, because you even got nervous because if this got out of control, and you can buy into the narratives on social media or even on the news about World War III and this escalating. So we are happy that it's been de-escalated, and we just pray that peace talks follow and that this, about that part of the world was good. Listen, from the days of who? From the days
from the beginning, right?
From that part,
Sarah,
the book of Genesis. I tell you why. But again, we're happy that this is what it is. Now, you all speaking. We say if we think Trump is saying that he is a strong leader and all this. It was just Monday at a PLP event that Prime Minister Davis says, "Listen, public service, get it together. Get it together because you will not stand in the way of progress." Well, this was released today. That Prime Minister Davis has fired a senior official at the Ministry of Works over missed deadlines, and so here it is, just a brief excerpt. Prime Minister Davis has fired a senior official at the Ministry of Works after weeks of frustration over delays in government projects. So obviously there seems more than one, signaling a zero-tolerance approach for bureaucratic holdups in his administration. It goes on to say the message is clear. If you are blocking progress, brave will move you. Your thoughts about that, guys? Is it too strong arm, or is it like wait a minute, about time?
No, it's about time. You know, for many years, Bahamians have been complaining about poor service, phones not being answered, calls not being returned, applications sitting on people's desks that prevents progress for individuals. And I was there on Monday night, and I sat and I listened to the Prime Minister's speech, and he came off as like he have a new focus. And there is something, public servants and their unions always making demand for more, benefit, more money. We want great service for our money. And people say, oh, because of this and because of that. No matter what the motivation is, it is going to happen. It is happening. He told a story of the gentleman who was fired, and he said this is the stance he's taking moving forward. And I hope this position makes public servants to tighten up their belts and be committed to good customer service, to be committed to carrying out the jobs that they are paid for, the jobs that they want increase for. And we as a people will be better offered. We as a nation will make even if an inch progress, it would be progress.
I'm sitting here. I thought I heard Peggy said she was there.
I was there.
Oh, you was there? oh, Peggy, you was there?
Yes, I was there.
Oh, man, that had me kind of a little taken back. I said Peggy was there.
Well, we even won't go there yet, because I could ask her what was she doing there.
Yeah.
But I just want you first to respond to this public service thing, and believe me, I promise you I will ask her that question.
I can say what she said sound good, and I still back to you was there for true. But anyhow, I'll follow the rules.
I promise you I will ask her.
But you know, definitely this stance has to take place. I've been saying this for years. If you're going to move this country from being the in-token banana republic that people have said that we are, we got to go to work. You know that I'm a human resources major. I'm all about profitability. I'm all about progress. Do your job. If you do not want to do your job, go home. Go home. I've been also a victim in terms of, like every other Bahamian, getting things done. You want to make applications, and they turn you around and around all day. I mean, come on, people. It's time for us to get past that particular part of our culture. Let us be serious about the business of the people, and let's move the country forward.
I absolutely agree. Meanwhile, though, listen.
She was there.
Well, Garth, I will ask if she's there. Believe me, I did. I promise you.
He's something else.
Because I had no intention. Will she do it on her private time? It's her private time. I had no intention, but we are getting to politics right after the break. Let me just get to this right here, right? You're mischievous. We'll get to politics after the break. But listen, you all, President of the Bahamas Public Services Union, Kingsley Ferguson, is not agreeing with this. He says, listen, hold up, like how dare you threaten it? This is what he's saying. You are firing missiles at his members. He says, he speaks more about this. However, many residents, though, Kingsley, you may have a little uphill battle here, because residents are saying, man, it's about time.
Yes.
We get this story from Jose Etienne, and then we come back and give opinions.
If he wishes to rebuke someone, start with the financial secretary.
In the hot seat tonight, Financial Secretary Simon Wilson, Ferguson taking direct aim, saying if the Prime Minister wants to talk about civil servants impeding progress, he should start with his own top brass.
The financial secretary disregarded his instructions and gave them a scale upgrade. And so if we want to start and set examples for the subordinate staff to follow, then let's get those persons who are in top positions following the instructions.
The union's chief pushback comes days after Davis warned that those in the public service who refuse to cooperate could face consequences, a warning he issued during the PLP's East Link-Up as questions mount about the public sector productivity and whether it could affect the party's chances of re-election. But critics say Ferguson may be deflecting, shifting blame in a conversation that's really about improving performance on the ground. Still, Ferguson insists that a blanket rebuke won't work, and he's calling for a more strategic fix.
Would I say that we don't have persons who maybe slipping through the cracks? Yes, we do. But there are mechanisms in place, particularly quarterly annual appraisals, that are there to assist people in improving their levels of productivity.
And that's not all. The union president also wants to see the workload spread out more equitably across government departments.
We need the proper complement of staff to achieve these things. And so the lackluster attitude has nothing to do with the small complement that's getting the job done. In my view, these individuals should be commended.
So did the president of the union say the lackluster output or attitude or work is nothing to do with the small amount who is getting it? We know that Kingsley Ferguson, there always is an element who is working, showing up on time, and very productive, efficient, professional, but they are so overshadowed by everybody who giving you the run around all around the Bahamas to get one thing done. What is it that you will have to say? I see Justin is telling me it's time for a break. You will respond to this. Well, quickly respond, because I want to shift gears after the break.
I don't agree with the president of the union. As you stand up to make demands of the government for your members, you should also say, give good service for what I'm demanding. It must be a fair exchange. So I don't think you should be disagreeing to disagree. If there's good, if there's improvement, if there's progress in the decision of the leader of the country, why not stand and say, let's do this because it will make our country better. Let's give better service. And then you will give me a tool to fight with if you're producing. And I think he needs to review his approach and encourage his staff, his members, to put out excellence. This country needs to be a country of excellence at every level.
This would be a window of opportunity for the president to sit with the prime minister and begin to iron some of these things out. You cannot, like you say, just argue just for the sake that you're the president. It's expected of you to defend. Though there's a time when a leader must lead, even if it's the unpopular thing to do. Now it's the right thing to do.
You on the Headlines is back after this.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods, taste the difference.
We're back! Playhouse and Sound Investment presents your Back to the 90s Volume 11, July 12th at Breezers. From Volume 1 to Volume 10, Playhouse brings to you the most anticipated Back to the 90s party at July 12th at Breezers. Party with some of your favorite Playhouse DJs, Big L, AI, Pressure, alongside Extra Large and DJ Tank with special guest DJs Black Chinese. Hosted by yours truly, Joe Cools, and my brother, DJ Bravo. But wait, it doesn't stop there. Rock the night away with Reggie Stepper, performing live, Kimbo King, Modeling, and so much more. Early bird tickets are limited. Get yours today. Tickets available, cash and go, Tropics, On the Bay, and any of your favorite Playhouse DJs. For tables or Skybox, contacts 819-2900. Playhouse, Back to the 90s, sponsored by Sound Investment, Guinness, Hennessy, Paradise Games, Tropics on the Bay, Cash and Go, and Alive.
2026 GAC MPOW every week for 5 weeks. Every 10 reward points earns you 1 digital entry. The more entries you gain, the better your chances to win. 5 weeks, 5 cars. Will you be one of our lucky winners? Catch the keys today, only at Island Luck. Island Luck reminds you that it's only a game, so game responsibly.
If you enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Well, here's a question tonight. Could there be a switch in the political trajectory on Long Island? It's a question that may be on the horizon as the island has been deemed a free national movement powerhouse, now sees a number of residents praising the work of the Davis administration. A number of infrastructural upgrades are set to commence on Long Island in the coming weeks. And tonight, we take a closer look at what these developments mean for the community. Linton Ritchie Jr. is following this story.
The chart on the road is that people are happy. These things have been promised for quite a time now, and never has happened.
A new dawn may be on the horizon for residents of Long Island as decades of deteriorating infrastructure, which made everyday life challenging, could finally be coming to an end, and the anticipation for change is high. Chief Counselor for Long Island, Ian Knoll, says many are calling the recent contract signings under the Davis administration, valued at some $20 million, an answer to their prayers. The projects include roadwork rehabilitation, a major waterworks initiative, and a long-awaited upgrade to the airport runway. For years, locals have dreamed of building livelihoods off the island's natural attractions, but say that a lack of access due to the aviation hassles made that nearly impossible. The hope now is that these upgrades will catapult Long Island's economy.
With the airport development, you will see the island develop, Airbnb or hotel or business. Now is the time to start.
Knowles say these basic but critical resources will give Long Islanders the foundation to stand on their own.
Oftentimes, we depend too much on foreign direct investment, and when we as the Bahamians could do a lot for ourselves right here on our own islands.
And with several infrastructure upgrades already in the pipeline, there's one more request residents in the South hope will be added.
Cable Bahamas, Alive, and BTC improve their infrastructure with regards to telecommunications.
Have it, you all. This is something that's been a sort of a rumbling rumor for a minute. And of course, in the news tonight, when I saw that story, I said, wait a minute, is there some legitimacy to this story? And so tonight, we have it here on Beyond the Headlines. Again, welcome back, Peggy and Garth. Listen, when you see that, now Long Island has in the past voted independent. I'm not sure if has Long Island ever voted PLP?
On the first onset, but of course they went to the FNM. But initially, yeah, when they moved from the UBP, yes.
What do you all make of this rumblings, though? And it's not just with the chief counselor there saying, listen, the island is excited and very happy for what the government is doing, but in other quarters and other Long Islanders who have nothing even to do with this bunch, because you brought it to my attention, Garth, I think a couple of weeks ago now, about, listen, here's what's happening, and I kind of just rested to the side. But what do you all make of what the chief counselor is saying about sort of their interest in the administration?
I think people want to see things done in their community. When you say it is a sure seat for a particular group, I think there's a complacency with that group. I think they begin to take you for granted. And so Long Islanders are grateful for what is being done for their island, the improvements, the advancement, and it's only right. If you say, oh, we always this and we always that, what you always not necessarily is in your best interest. And I think Bahamians need to start looking at what is in their best interest, if not on a personal level, on a community level. And if administration is doing things that were promised previously and they're catching up, I think it's a good thing. And I think people need to look at, is this better for us?
Well, you know, the pre-national movement has had 4 opportunities in order to appease the people of Long Island. So when you look at the 92 to 2002, you look at the 2007 to 2012, and the 2017 to 2021, the people of Long Island, independent as they are, they still would like to have a better way of life. And the fact that the pre-national movement have not brought any of these such adjustments or improvements to this particular island that's been crying for this for years. As a matter of fact, I would even go on to say, Dean Blue Hole, which is a world attraction, sits in Long Island, one of the deepest blue holes in the world. People dive it all the time. And yet with such an attraction, Long Island is saying you have not opened up the doors and windows to allow any sort of revenue stream to come in a strong way because of this attraction. We need all of this infrastructure put in place. We are not lazy people. When it comes to immigration, we got our island on lock.
They have it on lock.
When it comes to agriculture, we got our island on lock. When it comes to fishing, we got our island on lock. We take care of ourselves. However, there is some responsibilities that should have been taken care of. They were neglected, and this particular administration is paying attention to that. I think this is a strong political move from the Progressive Liberal Party, and I think the Free National Movement, you may just actually lose this particular one.
I think they also had a sign-in for the airport in Long Island.
The airport.
That's been important to Long Island
dock,
as well.
The dock, and they want to also bring some banking to the island of Long Island. So, of
progress.
course, serious progress.
Progress, and I want to tell Bahamians, stop being a sure thing. Make anybody you want to represent you, either locally or nationally, make them earn it. Make them show you how they value you, and by improving your infrastructure, improving the life, which will improve the lives of you and your families.
That's the most important thing right now.
I've also spoken to one Mr. Adderley, Shanique.
Mr. Who?
Mr. Adderley. I'm not going to call his first name, but of course I was out last night with him. He's a Long Islander, and he said, you know, he's voted F&M his entire life. He said for the first time in his life, he's now going to vote for the Progressive Liberal Party. There is a shift taking place in Long Island.
In Long Island?
Yes.
Wow, well, that's a strong statement. Well, speaking of that, then let's just go right into this. The Free National Movement will be launching its first grouping of candidates for the upcoming general election, the 2026 general election. That happens tomorrow evening. Of course, we await to see what it is. But you all, who do we need to see? Meaning the sort of type of candidate, the type of person to help this F&M, number one, repair its image, show the Bahamian people that it is a proper alternative to the government, and whatever else it needs to do to help Bahamians start believing again that this Free National Movement party is capable of leading the nation.
I believe the people need to see that it's not a fan club. You're not selecting members who like you best or who favor you, who's in a little clique or a little group. We want to see
there can't be no clique now.
And that's what I'm saying. We want to see people who have a history of national service, whether at the community level, whether at a nation building level. We want to see people who interested in the development of Bahamians did not start the moment they wanted to run for election. That the caring is not a way of getting people to vote for you. That this caring was there before you even imagine yourself in politics. And so it is important that when these individuals are named, that we do a KYC. Know your candidate. You just popping up here. Do you hear what investment have you made in this community? What rock did you lift? What leaf did you rake? What did you do to advance and help the community to develop for the people? And if you have no track record, I don't think you should be considered. And that is why I've been saying this is not selecting members for a baseball team or a basketball team or softball team. You are looking for potential ministers of the government, a minister of health and wellness. You're looking for a replacement for the Minister of Education. And you cannot offer us less than what we have now. And so when we waited long enough, when these individuals are named and they stand up before us, can we look in them and imagine trusting them with our country? Can we look at them and have confidence that we will be safe and that we will receive good governance from these individuals? Or are we going to see people that are light? That's the question.
Light.
Light.
Boy, Shanique, boy, Peggy got a lot of energy tonight. I see why you're going to that rally.
That's
anyhow.
right.
But anyhow, Shanique, Shanique gonna kill me after the show. I know you gonna get me. But listen. They need the charisma of a Hubert Alexander Ingram. It's a young Hubert Alexander Ingram. That's what they need. The closest person to that who is present at this particular time would be Hubert Alexander Minnis. Because of his strength, you got rid of him. And now you left yourself void.
Problematic.
Let me prove it to you. Let me prove it to you, Shanique. Michael Pintard, the leader, honorable leader of the Free National Movement, he is not resonating with the Bahamian national public. Not doing it. The deputy is very well liked.
But God, that's a heavy statement to make and just skip along.
And it gets heavier. It gets heavier. Because the deputy is very well liked, but he's squeezed in the middle. The chairman, no one feeling you, no one hearing you. You ain't saying what you're supposed to be saying and doing. So you tried Adrian White. Remember, let's go in history now. You tried Adrian White, and that didn't work out too well for you. You tried Marvin Dames.
When did they try Adrian White?
When he was on that other station, when he had his little interview, he became a spokesperson, one that we didn't see coming, and he quickly went back behind the curtain. Marvin Dames came up from behind the curtain and went quickly back behind the curtain. The Free National Movement has been trying to find somebody who would have that charisma to awaken in the hearts of the Bahamian people to say, you know what, we need to give the Free National Movement an opportunity. So the candidates that they're looking for now have to be people who are going to bring traction to the Free National Movement. Here is your issue. So far, we've not seen any traction from any of your aspirants. We just haven't. I've heard about Philippa Kelly. I like Philippa Kelly. I've heard she has traction in Central and South Eleuthera. I give you credit for that. When it comes to Nassau, look at the F&M Fair. If your aspirants were so strong and so involved in the community and the nation building, why were the people not at R.M. Bailey Park? Why were they not at the Labor Day parade next to you? Why are they not seen around you like they should be seen around you at this particular time as you prepare for battle? I'm saying to you, Free National people, wake up. You have to find the secret to traction, and so far we've not seen our candidates yet. And when you roll these people out, I hope we don't roll you back up.
So you are saying tomorrow night, these candidates that will be introduced must be candidates who grab immediately the attention, who are not strangers to any of us, and also people who are compelling to look at. And I don't mean just aesthetically. I'm talking about this sort of this holistic thing
and you
that
can't
they bring.
Bring no old newspaper back to us. We don't want no old news. You got to bring someone who could say something and put some strength behind what they're saying. This is not a game. Because of all of the world crisis going on around the world, people are vigilant. People are concerned. Today, people are off balance. And what they're looking for is, where can I lay my head? Where can I rest my head? You brought me an airport. You brought me a port. You brought me a bank. You're bringing me all these things. You're showing some kind of semblance that you're stable. People looking for stability. What has the Free National Movement brought us so far? You bring the people in North Eleuthera a bottle of water. We don't want that. We need the water problem fixed. We need the lights fixed. We need some things done. People need jobs. People need education. You got plenty of work to do, but you got to sell it to us. And so far, you've not had a salesman that's been effective to the Bahamian people. You've not had it.
Meanwhile, Peggy, why did you go to? How did you end up at the rally?
I was invited.
And the PLP rally.
I was invited by a PLP friend on my Facebook.
And now you're wearing blue.
I was invited.
Hold on now. Wait a minute. Blue is a neutral color.
It's a beautiful color. But I was invited by a PLP friend, and its timing was perfect because I was doing self-searching.
What self-searching you was doing?
Now we got to talk about that in one of these times. We got to talk.
No, I was doing self-searching, and I'm a Bahamian first. More than just a Bahamian, I am an Eleutherian Bahamian first, and I am not a die-hard anything but Eleutherian Bahamian. So as a Bahamian, you also have to persuade me that you are capable of taking over leadership of this country. This is my country. Like I say, this ain't a basketball team, this ain't a football team. You have to win the confidence of the people, even people who were saying that you can do the job.
But they tell me you're carrying on bad. I went there after the show. You didn't even know I was there. I went there after the show. I took the video. Listen.
Happy people. Happy people.
I am not going to go to an F&M function and count their people, and don't go to the PLP and count their people. I'm a very fair man in the name of our Lord and Savior, and I'm telling you, I was there, and they said you was carrying on bad.
I was enjoying myself. The thing, after the people got over the initial shock of seeing me, I had seen so much. After they got over that, me and my daughter, we just had
I'd have been in shock too.
we just had a wonderful time. It is well organized, and nobody can throw a party like the PLP.
I never saw that coming, Shanique.
I didn't either. You notice I went on my own show. I went quiet. Listen, I thank you all though very, very much. Wonderful insight. Again, we will be watching that roll out tomorrow evening. And it's what we need to see, because as you can see, the times, listen, pressure tall, ran, not just the Bahamas, and you've got to be able to do some things, and people are interested in quality of life and improvement, enhancement of their lives, and so it's all very important. And so absolutely, you all very spot on. Thank you very much. But don't go anywhere, because when we come back, listen, y'all, this heat wave that's been happening and so much more, we're going to speak with meteorologist Dwayne Neely after the break.
The chart on the
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting tingsybahamas.com.
I was an electrician for 18 years, and one day I just lost my sight and found that I was in a totally new world. I just found this strength that came from nowhere, and here I am today. Even though I am faced with disabilities, the fire in me, it never went out as related to me being an entrepreneur. But the barrier is just people being understanding and willing to take a chance on somebody like myself. My dream is to see where the government can really pass laws, legislation to assist people like myself. And whether you believe it or not, we do have something to offer this country. We have to make people understand that we are here. And not in many cases we're looking for handout. We want to make a contribution. You gotta live. And part of living is that you gotta take charge of your life. And through programs like this with the SBDC, I know for a fact that my business can now come to life.
For more information about how the SBDC can help your small business to make a big impact, give us a call at 461-7232 or visit sbdcbahamas.com.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
If you enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Well, let's just move quickly into this segment. It's an important segment, by the way. First of all, I want to get into that heat wave, the warning that was issued from the Ministry of Health and the Department of Meteorology earlier this week. And then, of course, we will get into the hurricane season and what to expect. And I've already told meteorologist Wayne Neely that, listen, no, we praying. We praying like we've been praying since Dorian for mercy and grace, or grace and mercy. Good evening to you, Wayne. It's good to have you here.
Good evening.
Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Wayne, let's talk first about this heat wave. Those temperatures are wild.
Yes, we've been, temperatures have been getting up to 91 degrees Fahrenheit or 33 Celsius. And most of the heat is due to a high pressure ridge that was anchored over the Bahamas. And thankfully now it's moving out of the area now, so you should get some relief now.
Oh, good. And well, everybody, I'll tell you, even people who, you know, you're not always favorable to the rain,
yes,
but everyone welcomed the rain today.
Yes, definitely. It's a welcome cool down.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been having several weeks of just pretty high temperatures, and now we have a relief. We have an upper level trough over here, so that should bring some more rainfall tomorrow as well.
Oh, really?
Yes.
But listen, I know, right? But listen, Wayne, let's just talk about how we need to be safe during these high temperatures. This is nothing to take lightly and play around with.
Yeah, well, first of all, you always stay hydrated, drink lots of liquids, wear light color clothing, stay out of the direct sunlight during peak hours. That's between 11 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And if you have to go out, be very mindful of the heat, because you could get heat stroke. It could be dangerous if you go in the hot sun, and so you should be careful when you go on there.
Also, you all, I'll tell you this: you don't have to be light-skinned to wear sunscreen. All of us should wear sunscreen as well. Not that that's an excuse to stay in the sun, but the minute you plan on even just going out of your home, apply some sunscreen.
Yes,
that's important. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, that's important as well. Again, so stay hydrated. Wear a visor if you have to. Anything, and do not walk and exercise mid-morning and in the afternoon and whatnot.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. So Wayne, let's look at the hurricane season now. The 2026 hurricane season, of course, we know it officially started June 1st and it ends November 30th. But let's just talk about how does it look?
Well, it's looking to be a very active one once again. This year, we're going for 17 named storms, 9 hurricanes, and 4 major hurricanes. And I've looked at the sea surface temperatures. They're a bit warm. Fortunately, they're not as warm as they were last year. Last year, it was about 3.1 degrees Celsius. Now it's about 2 degrees Celsius above normal. That doesn't mean anything. And the problem with when I give numbers, I'm very scared, because people look at the numbers and say, look, it's going to be active or inactive season, or we're not going to get hit by a hurricane. But we just need one hurricane to hit us.
Man, a tropical storm.
Yes.
So be wise and pay attention. Like don't ever drop your guard.
And unfortunately, thanks to climate change, these hurricanes are becoming much stronger now. They're becoming more active. In other words, they become more moist. You're getting more rainfall from them, so which means you're going to get more flooding. You're having stronger winds, so you're going to get more damage. So we just need one hurricane. So this time, Shanique, if you have something around your house that needs to be repaired, now is the ideal time. People talk about hurricane insurance. You should get your hurricane insurance, because Shanique, we are the most active area in terms of the region for hurricanes.
The Bahamas?
The Bahamas, yes. And we the only, other than the state of Florida, we're the most active. And we impacted by more hurricanes than any other country in the region, other than the state of Florida. So, and over the years, the last 20 years, we've seen hurricane activity has increased significantly. The average hurricane hurricane name storms there were 10 name storms on average, 6 hurricanes and 3 major. Now the average now is 14.4 name storms, 7.2 hurricanes and 3.2 major hurricanes. So it means you're now dealing with more storms. So now is the ideal time to start preparing for storms, because records have shown that those who prepare for hurricanes fare much better than those who don't.
Give us an idea again how to prepare. I mean, people like you, every year, you kind of just hammer this message home, but again, remind us, what is it that we need to be doing now?
Well, now things like trimming trees, get those trees. If your tree is in a power line, you should get that cut. Call the professionals to get it cut out of the area. If you have leaky roof, you have windows that need to be repaired. Those will become dangerous during a storm, because those will be the first areas that will be weakened by the storm itself. So get those repaired. If you need hurricane insurance, call your local hurricane insurance company. Get your hurricane insurance, get you covered. Because I've seen the impact of hurricanes over the years. I've seen, after all the major hurricanes I've traveled to, all of the respective family islands, and I've seen in one night a hurricane destroyed 30, 40 years of progress in one building or one car or one business. And so now's the time to stock up on your hurricane insurance. Your canned goods, you don't have to stock, you don't have to wait until the last minute. Go to your supervisor of foods of your choice and stock up on your canned goods. You don't have to you can do it in increments now, because it's still early, but you can do those things now and make sure, be vigilant for hurricane, and listen to the warnings presented by the professionals out there, the meteorologists.
I absolutely agree. This is really something. Wayne, Wayne is really an authority, you all, on storms. He is highly sought after by National Geographic and by other networks. Yes. For historic accounts on hurricanes, and to help with their coverage on it, and even sort of headed into a season.
Yes, I have 2 documentaries coming out soon. So
oh, really? With who?
Well, I'm going to keep it quiet because we haven't signed the contracts yet.
Wayne is doing the big things internationally. He don't play around much here. But so again, obviously with some international partners. Yes. How many books have you authored?
I've authored 16 books. I have my 17th one coming out in 2 weeks. And looking forward to that. That one is going to be on the great Bahamian hurricanes of 1932. That's the year that we had 5 hurricanes in the Bahamas in 1 year.
Oh dear.
And it devastated the Bahamas. It was worse than Dorian, and it was worse than the Great Abacoa hurricane of 1932. So I'm looking forward to that one.
Oh wow. Listen, Wayne, I tell you, the Bahamas is like to turn to fate. And yes. when it's just kidding, that was a little joke. But no, we are a people of faith, you all. Let's put that to work, because and pray to be spared. Certainly this hurricane season as well. Wayne, of course, we look forward to having you on and just informing us and keeping us aware, really from now throughout the hurricane season, and just hopefully it's just to talk about stuff and reminders and nothing more. Thank you so much. Any final words you'd like to say?
I do advise Bahamians to be prepared this hurricane season and every hurricane season, and wishing you all the best for 2025.
Thank you, Wayne. Thank you. Thank you. Of course, I want to thank at the top of tonight's show, Aaron Jones. Thank you very much for joining us. Peggy and Garth in the middle segments of the show, talking, of course, all the stories and issues and news that you are talking about. We certainly, of course, got into a good bit of those. And then, of course, meteorologist Wayne Neely here in this segment, speaking of the heat wave, that's expected to kind of sort of balance out a bit towards now and into the weekend, and then the hurricane season. So of course you all pay very, very close attention. And I want to thank all of you. And hey, Freeport, thank you so much for watching. I love having you all tuned in. I love getting your feedback as well. And everybody else watching, including right here in New Providence, thank you so much for tuning in. Looking forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Thank you so much for joining us. Make it a great evening.